Hello everyone, it's Sal, Stretford Post, how you're doing? And welcome to a new show. It's called Unfiltered with my guy Ben G. What's going on, my friend? Been a minute. Afternoon. What's going on? With this show, we're just going to go all different directions, talk about what we want to talk about. It doesn't necessarily have to be about football, but we're going to be talking about football anyway, because obviously that's the topic of the day in regards to Manchester United and that. What are your overall feelings about it?
I think talking about football is the safest option with the way things are going in the world today, don't you, Sal?
Yeah, I do believe that. Yeah, we can talk about politics if you like. We can go deep into that. Deep into that. I know you're far weird beliefs and stuff like that you have out there at the moment. Like I don't know what it is. You have some really weird beliefs, and no, I generally agree with Ben's opinions. Generally, it's a madness that he's even on this show. Can you believe it? Who would have thought that? If you put a bet on a year ago, 2 years ago, that Ben would be on my show.
Would have never
on our show. That would be an absolute.
But
craziness.
People change. People forget.
People change. Yeah, I've changed a lot, definitely, and I've learned errors in my ways, and I'm not afraid to admit that. Over the years, I've trusted the wrong people, and I'm not afraid to admit that, and I apologize to anyone I've offended. Especially the ones that are not bad people. Really, deep down, they're not. But I did get it a lot. I did get it in the neck. I did fish for things myself. There were a lot of things I was fishing for, and a lot of things like, for example, season tickets and stuff like that. And
it's all in the past now, and he's a changed man, as Tupac once says on Better Days.
I'm a changed man. Yeah, changes. Everybody changes. What's the opening line of Tupac's song? Was it changes? Was it long as you change for the better? And that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's about changing for the better and changing and learning from it, obviously from experience. And that, of course, that you get sucked in on the wrong sort of things, and that's what happened with that, honestly.
But it's about making mistakes and building from them, as I said to you, Anyway, shall we talk about football?
Oh God, here we go. Now, in regards to Man United, what are your expectations for the season? Obviously, we had a tough one last year. There was a lot of things that went wrong.
For me, I think if we get the right players in, as we've discussed on Twitter before, who we need and who would suit United to where we are now, and if we do get these players in, I'm looking at probably winning the Europa League, top four, and I'm going to be greedy and maybe a League Cup or an FA Cup. I'd say that's a great season. Oh, that's not a great season. That's a fantastic season, considering where we were in the league last year and how we got knocked out of the Champions League and the attitude and the manner in which way we got knocked out of the Champions League as well. I think it was well below Man United standards, and at that point in time in December, a lot of people said, we need to out the whole of the squad and get rid of them all. But I think with how the structure's coming now, and with Jason Wilcox, and you can see that especially the last 3 games of the season, they were changing their ways of how they played. They plugged up midfield a lot better than what they had done, and you could see that with the City game as well in the FA Cup. I just feel that another defender, definitely a midfielder, and obviously if Wan-Bissaka's going, we need a right back. I mean, there's obviously there's obviously talks about swapping him for Dumfries, which personally I don't understand, and it doesn't really make sense.
Why would they swap him? Like, if they rated him so highly, why would they swap him for Wan-Bissaka? I don't understand it. I mean, there must be something there that we're not reading into, to be honest with you.
Is Wan-Bissaka not happy? Does Wan-Bissaka want to be first team? And obviously with Dalot there, it's a bit, there's a lot of competition. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Sorry, that's my dog. I don't know. I mean, it's a strange one because Wan-Bissaka, 1-for-1, is probably the best defender in the league.
Yeah.
But again, his positioning, he gets caught out a lot in his positioning. And going forward, he's got better, but I wouldn't say he's great. You know, you wouldn't turn around and go, "Oh, well, he's a standard of like a Cancelo or even to a point Kyle Walker." Do you know what I mean? And other right backs that are better than him going forward. But it's a strange one for me. Clearly, Eric Ten Hag doesn't rate him. I mean, his first season, he wasn't even about for the first half of the season in Eric Ten Hag's first season. So I think that tells you a story. But his attitude when he come back and how he played and how he showed that he can be a part of the team. And obviously last season, it wasn't just him that constantly got caught out on the flanks. You know, we got caught out in the middle of midfield, and we were shocking. So that's my prediction. But with the way, I've seen today with Jared Braithwaite, he's rejected a contract at Everton. Do I want him or do I want De Ligt? In an ideal world, I want De Ligt because De Ligt's the more cultured midfielder. Not midfielder, the more cultured defender. He's the one who's got the more experience. Do you know what I mean? But then people say, yeah, but Jared's got experience in the Premier League. Yeah, okay, but has he got the experience to play for a big club? Can he take that pressure of playing for a big club? Because as we've seen in the past with players that have come, the club, the fans, the stadium as a whole, it swallows players up completely, and then they'll go play for someone else, and they'll be absolutely amazing for them because that pressure of playing for Man United has gone from them. They can express themselves again. So you've got to look at that. People kept saying last season, "Oh, need the right profile," and blah blah blah. If we need the right profile, you need someone that's been winning trophies everywhere he's gone. In Italy, in Holland, obviously in Germany. You need them players. You need to bring that culture of winning to your club because otherwise you're just going to be, unfortunately, a trophy. A trophy team. You're not going to be winning the league. You're not going to be winning Champions Leagues if you don't bring these players in. But they have to be the right players. So because we have brought players in that have got a culture of, that have won things at clubs, but have they come because, like, look at Di Maria, never worked out, didn't really want to come to United.
Can you believe that? Did you think, like, what is it? Because everyone who seems to come to us, bar maybe one or two over the last 10, 15 years you can think of, has done. I mean, who has done well? Bruno, maybe Mata has done okay. Mata, you could say he did all right when he came. Not many. Only recently, Licha Martinez and obviously Casemiro one season.
I just think it's down to the fact that Ed Woodward wanted to make Man United into a Galactico, and it was never going to work because, again, you've not got footballing people running a football club. You've got bankers. When you're offering stupid amount, the way they offered Sancho all that money, was it something like 350 grand a week? Like, why? And then they wonder why other football clubs and other players have been trying to, take the mickey out of them.
Yeah, it's true. It's I've just feeling that, as you said there earlier, I think it's in regards to the shirt. People underestimate how heavy that shirt is. Yeah. And I think we have to give people a chance. I mean, even back in the day when we were successful, we had great players who signed for us who didn't work out. And at the end of the day, it's just the Manchester United shirt is a lot bigger than a lot of shirt. For the Man City shirt, for example, is a lot heavier than the Man City shirt because with that Man United shirt comes history. It comes a lot of history, of course, and you're put under pressure straight away to perform because of those who came before you. And those players who came before you, achieved things, and people have died for our club. Do you know what I mean? And I think that weighs heavy. That weighs heavy on people, in my opinion. And I think whoever we sign now, I think it's getting better. I think it is getting better. I think the structure now is in place, as you said. But we'll have to wait and see. I think we're going to shock a few people next season. I believe that we're going to shock a few people, and it should be all right.
De Ligt is not a fit.
De Ligt is not a fit place to us. Mentality. Here's another one. Mentality was the real issue. The club paid ransom amount of wages under the past regime, like Woodward and Murto.
I agree with that. Also, on the De Ligt thing, go back and look at his appearances. He's not as injury prone as you'd like to think. It's one of them where you think he is, but he's actually not. I'm trying to think of a player that was like that in the past that you always thought was injured, but actually played quite a lot of games. A couple of Arsenal players have done it. But again,
definitely not Darren Anderton.
Darren Anderton, yeah. Wow. The cheeky chap. But yeah, definitely. De Ligt, he plays more than you think, to be fair. Let's be a bit honest.
I think the only thing with De Ligt I'm thinking is the left-sided centre-back thing that we need, isn't it? And that's the only thing I'm worried about. I think we need a left-sided centre-back, a left-back, a left wing-back, and I think that's the biggest thing we need at the moment. I like De Ligt. I think it's brilliant to have a player like him and Euro in the squad. Would be amazing. But as we got Euro, we got Johnny Evans as well. Of course, Lindelof and Maguire are still there as well. So we have, I think we need a left-sided centre-back. Obviously, Jared Branthwaite is the name on everyone's lips. He's today said he wants to leave. He wants to leave the club. And at the end of the day, what can we do? Once a player hands in a transfer request, it's only one way, mate. It's only one way it's going, and that could be Man United, because you cannot keep an unhappy player. It's a democracy. Do you know what I mean?
That's true. Also, Sancho links to PSG. That's a bit of a mystery, because obviously with United, after you got it, you'd think that they try and make some sort of deal. Because all in all, you got to think, Sancho is worth more than him. He's not worth 70 million euros. It's just inflated prices because it's Man United. But do a deal, see what you can do. Why don't you do? United could do this. Okay, what we'll do is you loan Sancho for a season, we'll loan Ugarte for a season, and we'll see how it pans out. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I'm thinking. Like, we haven't explored that avenue yet in regards to loans and swap deals and stuff. I mean, Sancho we can use to our advantage if we really wanted to. Like, if we wanted to, he would love a move to PSG. I'm sure PSG will like him at the club as well. So we can get an Ugarte through the door, etc.
If you think about it, like, they've not really got an entertainer, and they've always had entertainers at the club. You look at your Neymars, you look at your Mbappe's, even Messi for a season or two. Ibrahimovic, another one who was an entertainer. They haven't got that entertainer, where Sancho on his day is an entertainer, with the way he plays football. And I don't know, I think it could happen. It might happen. I'd like it to happen, because is Sancho really happy at Man United, or is he just plodding along in a hope of someone comes in for him for a season?
It's true. I don't think it's right at the moment. It says if we get De Ligt, Martinez needs to play the Casemiro role for us to add calmness to the back line. If we get De Ligt,
to be honest, I did think about this a couple of weeks ago. You could even De Ligt, to an extent, can actually play in midfield. He both of them can, and they both have in the past. I think for Ajax more than anyone. But again, I don't know. I think it's too risky. You need a specialised midfielder that can break up play and dictate at the same time. And if you don't have that, you get what we got last season. where we just ran through constantly and having 20 million shots against us. I mean, that shot start last year was was embarrassing. Was
Which one?
embarrassing. The stats for shooting,
it was the worst in the league, wasn't it?
Oh, it was
we had one of the worst.
Out of all 5 leagues, we had the most shots against us, or something like that. Or we were near
doubts there. Is this tactics, or is it the players' fault? Do you think it's the players that we have, or do you think that that was the reason?
No, I don't. Because if you see the last 3 games of the season, if you get the stats up for the last 3 games of the season, Sal, because I know you're on your laptop and I'm on my phone.
I'm on the phone, man.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's a phone. I swear to God. It's a phone. I'll take a picture of it. I'll send it to you.
I don't want you to take a picture. I know. I don't believe you. But anyway.
Acting like I'm some Billy Bob's. Not Billy Bob, but yeah.
But if you look at the stats of the last 3 games, I'm sure someone might actually get it up here, and you see the difference when Jason Wilcox actually came in. The shots were getting less and less, so it was a lot to do with Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag thinks the way he plays in Holland, and I still don't get after 2 seasons why he was still ignorant on this. This is what did my head in about him, because you'd think he changed it to keep his job. But what I'm saying is Jason Wilcox come in and says, no, you can't play this way in the Premier League. It's okay doing it in the Dutch league, where, no disrespect to the Dutch fans who are on here, or Ajax fans, or you're fans of the Dutch league, it's not as fast as the Premier League. You can't play that space in the Premier League, because that's what happens to you. Do you see what I mean? You have to play the proper way in the Premier League, and if you don't plug your holes up, you can't
go gun-ho in the Premier League.
No, you can't.
You can't leave one guy in the midfield. And it's not, obviously in the 90s we had Roy Keane, and you can leave Roy Keane in the midfield and he can clean up and everything. But nowadays in the Premier League, tactically, you can't do that. I mean, it was evident against Crystal Palace when we played them, and we're absolutely...
Brentford was another one.
Which
Brentford,
one?
Brentford away when Mara scored.
We've done that a couple of times.
But you look at even Sheffield United, but you look at these teams that are much lower than us, having that amounts of shots against a team like Man United, and you just think, oh, I mean, he even said, didn't he, in one of his press conferences that they're only shots, they don't score the goals, so it doesn't matter. But at that time, we was a complete mess. Whether he was under pressure, whether he was just annoyed with the constant same questions, I don't know. But that worried me. That was in his mindset, that it's only shots, because to a United fan, it isn't just only shots. Every time a team was absolutely pelting us with shots, he doesn't understand it. That hurts a Man United fan pride that little bit more, because what he's got to understand is most of us, like me and you and people around our age and older, was brought up on Man United absolutely dominating teams.
Yeah.
Dominating teams to a point of they surrender by half time. You know, they didn't want to come out, especially at Old Trafford. They didn't want to come out for the second half because they were beat already.
And when we were losing, the relentless attack,
the relentlessness of constantly going and attack, and that is what we were brought up on. So when we see this United side that's getting pelters and pelters and pelters, it's literally like watching every opposition team in the 90s and early 2000s. But it's us that are getting it. Do you know what I mean? It's us that's having what we did to them. So that has to be resolved, because if it isn't, this season might not be as lucky as last season. People got to understand that FA Cup saved his job. No 2 ways about it. If he'd not won that FA Cup, we'd be looking at Thomas Tuchel right now, and I firmly believe that, mate.
I believe that Ten Hag, he has the tactical prowess, like of a good manager, a world-class manager. I think he's stubborn. I do agree. I think he is stubborn. His philosophy hasn't worked, and he sort of worked that out at the FA Cup final, and he changed the formation. And you have to applaud him for that. He changed it and won the game.
But do you think Jason Wilcox influenced it?
There were rumours, of course, that it was, but at the same time, you have to put the team together and put the right players on the pitch. He made the right changes.
That's absolutely agree on that. Yeah,
and he made the right changes at the right time, and we absolutely dominated the game. Now, what I like about Ten Hag, I mean, I know about the shots on goal, the goals we're conceding, the lack of goals we're scoring as well. What I like about Ten Hag is his trust on the youth team, and of course, I mean, we're based on that, innit? Like we're a youth team. Like our philosophy is the youth, and he's bringing through, and he seems to understand that. How long will you give Ten Hag next season? Let's say up to Christmas, we're 7th, 8th, thereabouts. Do you think you'll pull the plug? Would you pull the plug on Ten Hag if we get to Christmas and we're like 7th, 8th?
I think Sir Jim will.
You think he will?
Yeah, I do. I think this is his make or break season. They're backing him this summer, and it's clear as spring water. Saying these are the players you want. We're going to give you these players. Now let's see what you can do. But if you do not improve, you're gone. I think that that's probably what they said in the meeting to him. They've taken away his powers of scouting, his powers of all that, and this is where it gets me with the whole changing your style of football and changing the way you're playing on the pitch. If he's back down with the transfers and he's back down with the scouting, clearly he's got to back down with the style of play. Now, people go, "Oh, is he a manager? Is he a head coach? Is he a first team coach?" And there's all different varieties of it now. And for me, I think he's more of a manager than a coach. Do you see what I mean? Like, he needs somebody who can, because he had it at Ajax. He needs somebody who can go, right, here you go, this is what we're going to do, and this is our style of play. Regardless of what he thinks or how he thinks his style of play is, he needs that. And that's why we've got this structure that we've got now. We brought in Ruud van Nistelrooy. We brought in the other guy. Ruud's style of play with, was it PSV?
PSV, yeah.
Won 2 trophies. Yeah, you look at how he played. You look at how he got them playing. And we need to implement that, and we need to be a lot quicker, and we need to be quicker with the ball. We need to be quicker in transition. We need to be quicker with getting it from defence to midfield to attack, and just going hell for leather instead of peeing about on the edge of the area. We just need to do what we did back in the day. Football isn't rocket science. Football is simple.
A simple
Get
game.
The ball, win the ball, run up the pitch and score. Yeah, it's not rocket science. So don't overcomplicate it with your crappy tactitos and crap like that. Just play football the way you should be playing football. Simple as that. And you'll get the results.
Spot on. I'll just read us some comments. Luke Shaw should be our new left centre back. That would be cover. Let me just go through these. Left back has too much running for sure. Blah blah blah. Let me just get that. That's in regards to Shaw. So basically, saying that Luke Shaw, he could be our new left back. That was who said that. Shabazz said that. Alex, what's going on, mate? What do you make of the Antonio Silva links from Benfica? Whoa, that is heated up a lot today. The Antonio Silva links, another player from Benfica that off the conveyor belt. What do you think of him? If you know too much about him as a...
No, yeah, he's a good player. I've got a mate that's probably watched him a bit more than I have because he's got Portuguese heritage. But shout out, Craig. But I think is he the type of player that we need? But
I think they're going after the next big thing, really, isn't it? It's like but
then this is your problem again, isn't it? You're just doing the exact same thing you're doing that you've always done. You're buying players for big amounts of money and thinking they're going to be superstars straight away. You can't do that. You need to be working from the ground up and just getting players in for 70 million quid or What is his minimum release clause is 100 million euros.
Antonio, no, that I think that's João Neves, I believe.
No, that's both of them. Not both of them.
They're both 100 million euros.
100 million
too
euros.
Much.
So you think about, but this is it. If United aren't going to pay more than 50 million for Ugarte, why the hell are they going to pay 70 million euros for Andre Silva? It doesn't make sense. It's just journalists or ITKs or whoever just making stories up so they can grab 10p from a like. That's all it is.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I agree. You see, like I like to report the news. You know me. I like to report it like way I hear it over here. I read it, I say it, and the thing is, I think there's a lot of nonsense out there. There's a lot of people who are dying to be the first to know it, the new information. I'm the first to give you the information, and this is the problem within the fan base, fan cams as well. Obviously, they're all trying to jump on. I'm the first to break it. I'm in the know. When in reality, they don't know diddly squat, mate. They don't know nothing.
Nobody knows.
No one is sitting in a room with them.
That's a good thing about with United. They've kept everything secret. They've not blurted things out. They've just kept everything professional. And I mean, it's like, Lenny Euro. Nobody knew United were going for him until it happened. But United had been talking to him way before the season was over. Even before the FA Cup final, United was talking to him. So again, if they was we go back to, are they his targets? So if United were talking to him before the FA Cup final, was they planning on keeping him, or were they planning on getting rid of him?
They're planning on getting rid of him, mate. There's no smoke without fire at the end of the day. I think like the way Louis van Gaal was treated as well at the end, at the end of his tenure.
That was disgusting.
Yeah. And won the FA Cup, and that was it, let me just go through some. I'm sick. I am sick. Go for a player from Bayern Munich, from Real Madrid, PSG, Barca. I don't quite know what you mean there, fan.
I think he's basically saying that.
Stop going for players for Bayern Munich. Yeah. By PSG and Barca. I agree to an extent that we shouldn't just be going. That's basically what you were touching on earlier. Don't go after the Galacticos type of the name, for example. Like Yoro's Lille, and he's probably going to be a really good signing, and he's Lille. He played for Lille now. Nice.
Well, this is what I mean. Yeah, this is what I mean. This is exactly what I mean. You've got to buy smart. You've got to buy players. I know he's going on about not buying players from Bayern Munich, but at this point in time, Man United should have bought Matthias de Ligt when he went to Juventus. Be all and end all of it. They shouldn't have bought Maguire. They should have brought de Ligt, and they should have built their defence around de Ligt. Now we're building our defence around Martinez. Effectively, we are, because obviously he's fit, and we need to get players that can play with him. And de Ligt's the perfect one who can play with him. You've got, I know we've got Harry Maguire, but you need to up your level if you want to be winning your Premier Leagues and your Champions Leagues, or even qualifying for the Champions League.
Exactly. Because I'm convinced Martinez can play in the defensive midfield. The map for Manchester United, which is our best option right now, if you can't get our targets in time for the season. He hasn't done it already, so if he hasn't played there already, probably can't play it, in my opinion. He's only played there, I think, once for Manchester United. He hasn't played there since. Maybe he's not ready. I mean, you don't know until you try it, but I don't think we need to risk that. We've got McTominay and we've got, obviously, Casemiro there. We don't need to risk Licha Martinez as well there. But I do believe that we will get a defensive midfielder by the end of the transfer window. I hope so.
I think we will before the season starts. United have got to they've got to learn the lesson, because the last 2 seasons we've started very, very badly, really badly, and we're constantly playing catch up. Which in a way, it gives you more pressure as well. If you're playing catch up and you're hearing moans from the United fans and things like that, oh, here we go again, another shite start and all that. But I feel that we've got to be going for the gusto from day one, and that day starts against City
in the Charity Shield.
even if it's a friendly championship, we've got to win that game. We win that game, it sets you off for the season because you've gone for 2 games in a row. We've just gone and beat City.
Exactly. Twice at Wembley.
Yeah, twice at Wembley in the space of 3 months. We've got 4 months. We've gone
and I think City are weak now. I think this is where we can pounce. I think a lot
of teams are thinking they're aging. They're slowing up. I feel that they're there to be taken this season. They were there for the taking last season. They were there for the taking the season before that when they won the treble. But again, they as all teams that win, they got the rub of the luck. And if we'd not missed that sitter at the end of the game in the FA Cup final, if we'd had a better goalkeeper who could have actually saved the 2 shots that went in from Gundogan, it's if
and buts, isn't it? It's hypothetical.
It is if and buts. It is if you look into they missed a sitter towards the end thanks to Lukaku. Why we ever signed him, I'll never know. That's a different story. But what I'm saying is we I forgot what I was going to say. I've gone well ahead of myself. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like in football, mate. It's fine margins. Even back in the 1999, if and you think about the margins, and you think about even against us. Do you remember the save Inter Milan against Man United at Old Trafford when Zamorano headed it?
Yeah, and not just that. The Liverpool game when Solskjaer came on, scored.
The Charlton game, people, what the thing is? It's like
game, yeah.
We played Charlton at the Valley, and people forget that we scored like 91 minutes or something. We scored in that game, and it happened all season. And this is what football is: it's fine margins,
exactly.
And that's it. You got, and that's what Brailsford's talking about, and those fine margins, isn't it? He's talking about it's getting over the line. Now we could have easily not won the FA Cup. It could have easily happened. A shot comes in, deflection. 2-2, if it went 2-2, that's it for me. We wouldn't have won the game.
Yeah, I agree on that.
Yeah, but it's just the way it is in football. You have to take those fine margins. Man United are notorious for taking fine margins all the way through our history. So
but we're also at the minute notorious for not taking it and taking it over the line.
Now
you've only got to look at it when we've gone like for top 4 under Ollie or even under Eric Ten Hag, not last season, the season before, where even a bit last season, to be fair, where we could have pounced and we could have got that little bit higher. We just didn't take that chance because it was in our heads, and it's always in the back. And this is where I'm going back with the mentality thing with players and the winning culture that you need to bring into the team. You need to bring in players that will go, no, say on the 83rd minute, you're 1-0, I don't know, you're 1-1 or 1-0 down, yeah? And you've got them players going, no, we can win this, we can do this. You need them players in that team because that's when it starts bleeding and breeding into the other players. You know what I mean? You need more of that. But you also need the right character to do that. Varane won a lot of things, but Varane was coming to the end of his career when he went to United. He was 29. Casemiro, another one. Yeah, they're
Real Madrid wouldn't sell them to us if they were not finished. Real Madrid sold them to us for a purpose. I knew they did.
Yeah, of course they knew they were finished. Everyone. They didn't get rid of Cristiano Ronaldo because they do it all the time with players. So, but same with Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich are the same. They both have the same philosophy when it comes to players. If they think they can't do a job anymore, then see you later. Look at Schweinsteiger. The only player that they sold to us that they thought could actually still do a job for them was Owen Hargreaves, but they also knew Owen Hargreaves had an injury that kept reoccurring, and we just still signed him.
He had one good season, didn't he? I think at Man United, and he was actually really good. But then he just went from there. It was a good signing, but for one season, won us the Champions League in a way because he started the Champions League final, didn't he, against Chelsea that time. So he was good, but obviously they knew what they were selling, and we got to be clever now. We can't be messing about with this stuff too much. Kenny, he was way too stubborn last season, had some doubts of Ten Hag, but he delivered in clutch moments. Yeah, clutch moments. But as Ben said there, you can't rely on clutch moments and luck, because that luck runs out at the end of the day. Don't get mad, but I believe Entoka is the rebuild manager. He's the rebuild manager. We won't go until we have a squad of depth and quality to compete. So basically, he's the stepping stone for the next manager. Could be. You never know. I firmly believe Ruud van Nistelrooy has been put there for a purpose.
Do you know what? When I watched that game the other day, and he was sat there, and I actually put on Twitter, he looks like a really cool history teacher in his glasses and his beard. What a beautiful man, right?
Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Yeah, and you know what? I was thinking, what if he's here to take over from Eric? And I actually had that thought in my head, and then it went. But do you know what? That's a good shout. That's a really, really good shout. Is he a rebuild manager? You can't really say that, because Ajax, he was the heartbeat. He was the heartbeat of Ajax, and you've only got to look at Ajax now and look at how they performed last season and even the season before that, and you look at the in-house fighting and stuff like that. I don't know. If it's a rebuild, he's not rebuilding very good. That's all I'm going to say, with the likes of Brian Anthony and people and players like that. So we'll see. If you're going to do a rebuild, you've got to buy young. And if you don't buy young, it's not a rebuild, because you're just adding, you're just getting older players that are probably better than your 23-year-olds, but are lasting a season or 2 seasons. It doesn't work. You need to build smart. You look at City's project, and yeah, we all know about the 115 charges, etc., right? But as a model of how they buy players and how they scout players, you never see them buying players that are over a certain age.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
We're falling into a trap. It's like Craig says here, Craig the Unicorn. Silva played rubbish in the Euros. He then said, I do like him though, but he's still developing, in regards to Antonio Silva. And we can't pay 100 million. We've got to be smart. Look at Arsenal. They signed Odegaard for low money. Of course, you got to do your scouting work, and you got to get out there and look for the next best thing.
Yeah, but Odegaard was worth it because they loaned him.
Yeah,
and they could see what he could bring to the team. And this is why you should do it with the Shigati. Loan him for the season. You loan him Sancho, right? See how it goes. If both are happy, straight swap. No mossing about. There's no fee to be, no nothing. Just a straight swap. Everyone's happy. If neither of them work out, you don't swap them.
Exactly.
If one works out, you set an agreement of a price for next summer, and you should be obligated to buy that player if it's worked out. And they've got to have, they've got to do so much to get to that fee. Do you see where I'm coming from with performances and stuff like that, and winning trophies and things like that? You've got to put things in, added incentives for that player to play well, to earn that full-time contract. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like, even our established players, do you think we reward too soon? We're rewarding players too soon. Big bumper contracts.
Mate, and this is the problem with having a banker in charge of your football club. Harry Maguire, 190 grand a week. 80 million quid. Harry Maguire wasn't even worth 40 million quid and 100 grand a week at the time when we bought him. He's still not. In fact, no player is worth more than 100 grand a week. And if we really want to go there, I'd say 50 grand a week should be the cap for every player. And I mean that. No player is worth above 50 million, shouldn't be allowed. But, this is the reality of it, and this is where we are. But again, you look at Rashford. How much was it? 350 grand a week?
It's ridiculous, mate. Absolute pathetic.
Casemiro, 300 grand a week.
For what? Win trophies. Win trophies then. You know, but they're not challenging. Win the Premier League, then they're entitled to that amount of money.
Exactly.
That's why I like what Ineos are doing. They're giving Xerxes 60 to 70,000 a week. I know it's a lot of money for dudes like us. It's a lot of money, but that is like 60, 70,000. It's a big difference from. Like, look at Anthony from 40 grand a week to 200,000 pounds a week.
That's another one. Well, apparently reports are that he's only on 70.
He's on 200,000. I heard he's on a lot more money at the moment. Why did we have to increase his wages that much? Basically, let me just read some of these comments out. Got a lot of comments to catch up on. No, not Silva. Don't get me wrong. He's a good player, but Benfica will ask us to pay huge money for Silva. Yeah, agreed. A release fee. Kenny, spot on. Irfan, yes, you are right. Real Madrid and Bayern Munich too big in the transfer market. I know. Yeah, they always are, mate. Alex Rude, yeah. Irfan, Van Nistelrooy is the best. We know. Man, he's very underrated, by the way. I think he's the best finisher in the Premier League history, but that's just me. Manchester United expresses genuine interest in signing Trevor Chalobah. Don't say that, mate. For goodness sake, we've got to stop getting Chelsea rejects. Chelsea pre-season tour and potential 25 million price tag. Get out of here. No way, Irfan. Come on.
He was poor last season for Chelsea. I know Chelsea were poor. I know there was no standout player for Chelsea last season. I think Chelsea also missed Mason Mount last season. I don't care what anyone says. They missed him going forward. But we didn't get we didn't get to see the best Mason Mount. I think this season we will, but that's just digressing a bit. But back to Trevor, I think no, he's not good enough. We need to be looking at players of a better ilk, of a better standard. We can't be going, oh yeah, let's go get. And they only want to sell him because they've got money problems. Let's be brutally honest here. And if that's what they're going to do, if that's how they treat their youth or their, the better players they have at the club, yeah, then there's no point signing him because obviously they don't think they're that good, and they don't.
And he's been around a bit already, hasn't he? He's been to Napoli. He's been a lot of places. I mean, we don't need any more leftovers. We need to make our own players, and we need to I'd rather bring for a youth player. I'd rather play that Adonai, the young player kid, rather than playing Chalobah. I don't want to be helping Chelsea in any shape or form because that's what we're doing. We're helping Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly. We're helping them with money. We're helping them sort out that financial fair play thing that's going around. It's like a virus, isn't it? But I feel that we need to be just play it smart. Don't panic. But I would have liked to have seen the midfielder go on the pre-season tour, but it's not going to happen. So it's just, and obviously the other players. I don't understand why Luke Shaw and Martinez haven't gone because it's not like they did anything last season. Luke Shaw went on a 9-month holiday.
I don't understand why he's not playing in the pre-season. To be honest, like he had a 9-month holiday. What kind of mentality is that? He should be like, no, I want to play. I want to play.
Exactly. Martinez, you can understand because he's played every game at the Copa America, and United are just so paranoid about him getting injured again. You can understand letting him go for a rest, but at the same time, is it a good idea? Because if he's slowing down again, there's a good chance he might get injured again. And if he's not playing a lot of pre-season, and he's not training a lot, you're going into a season. He should be pretty fit. Both of them should be pretty fit, by the way, for the new season. It's not like they've just come back from playing 45 games last season, and had a 3-month injury or whatever. They've come back from an injury, played football and whatnot. But I just feel that both of them should have just pushed on that a little bit more. I'm not disputing the fact that they're probably doing individual training as well, by the way. Let's not say that they're all going sitting on their arses. They are probably doing individual training, but it's probably not as intense as what you get at United. Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's a strange one, that. It's a strange one for me, why they've both not gone. I was quite annoyed. I was quite annoyed that they've both not gone, to be fair. Especially Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw should have gone to prove that he's got the mentality. But like you say, doesn't show the right mentality that you're not gone on the tour. You know, I can't understand why United wouldn't let him go on the tour either. You know, it's not like I say, it's not like he's played 50 games in the season.
But it says here, Irfan is saying here that Manchester United have agreed personal terms with Ugarte. We know he's agreed personal terms. He agreed personal terms already. He's put in a transfer request. Contract terms discussed by the player, keen on moving to United, even without Champions League football. Then he says, confirmed, done, as by Fabrizio Romano, Dan Ashwood, flex his muscles as Man United agree a deal, 280,000 a year, Champions League winner, as per reports in Spanish media. Who is this you're talking about? Who's the Champions League winner, as per reports in Spanish media? Man United have agreed.
280 grand a year? I bet it'll be 280 grand a week.
That's a week, yeah, gotta be 280 grand a week.
Who's
Champions League winner? Who's the Spanish player we're talking? Let me go onto Twitter. Let me have a look at this because I want to have a look. Because let me just say this one. Obviously, we're going to be getting new. Huh?
What are you on there?
What's that?
I don't know what you're doing. You look like you're cooking.
No. I'm going to go into Twitter now and see if this transfer news is anything. I want to know what is that all about, to be honest with you. Let me just see if I can. No, I can't find anything on here. But, yeah, there's going to be news breaking anyway in regards to players coming in, players going out. 280,000 seems a bit steep for me. Who is the Spanish player you're talking about who won the Champions League? This is what Spanish media reported. Who is the player that won the Champions League? As per reports, who won the Champions League last season? It was Real Madrid. So who is the player that we're looking at Real Madrid?
We're not looking at a player at Real Madrid.
No, we're not looking at anyone at Real Madrid. I don't know what you're talking. Irfan, can you clarify that for me, my friend? We don't know what player you're talking about. I can't find anything on Twitter at the moment. Nothing clarified as of yet. So let's wait and see, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Big up Benji for coming on the show. We're going to be doing this more often. We're going to be doing this more regularly with the latest Manchester United news. It's going to be madness. We're going to get. He just said the right back. If you can just subscribe, smash a like, go and follow Ben. Ben, where can they find you, mate? If you want them to find you.
On Twitter.
On Twitter. There you go. So if you search Twitter, write Ben, you will find Ben. It will come at the top of the list, and you will see Ben right there in all his glory. Guys, Unfiltered. It's going to be like this all year. We're going to be doing this show more often. Big up, Ben. Big up the panel. Everyone who's been chatting. Thank you so much for joining us. Big up. And we hope to see you again. I'll be here tomorrow morning for Breaking Dawn. Breaking Dawn tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. My time, 7 a.m. UK time. Guys, thank you so much. Take it easy.